call. Happy Monday. This is your call. So I want you guys to ask the questions that you're having, especially those questions that happen over the weekend, right from your open houses. And I mean, those are like gold because you guys are seeing what's happening real time in the marketplace. And so um, yes, the market is slowing. It has slowed down a bit more than we expected from last year. I'm going to give you guys Lawrence Yun, actually, our National Association of Realtors chief economist, made some comments and gave a new prediction. He revised his predictions for the year. So I'm going to be talking about that in our industry news section. Um, so um, so we'll get there, I promise. And just in case you guys have to hop off, I want to make sure that you know that tomorrow our team meeting is special. It is special because we have someone from the Tony Robbins organization coming to speak. So that is, and he's speaking for an hour and a half. It's going to be, if you guys know Tony Robbins, he's one of my favorites in terms of self-help and motivation and all that good stuff. And one of his coaches and trainers from his organization is coming to speak to us. And so that's going to be fire, as the kids say. So I'm excited about that. I hope that you guys will be there and participate in that. That's going to be the bulk of our meeting tomorrow. Of course, we're going to give out our awards, but the bulk of our meeting is going to be him. So you got to plan for 2 to 4 for tomorrow. 2 to 4, 2 to 4. All right. So let's go ahead and get started for our weekly industry update. You guys know BTCPA compliant. Please do not call anybody on the do not call list. You know better. All right, Los Angeles County market update. For sale properties is up 3.3% over last month, sorry. And 38.5% higher than last year. Okay, so definitely got an influx of new inventory. Sold properties are down 0.6%. I'm sorry, up 0.6% over last month. However, down 0.9% as compared to last year. Okay. And pendants are down 6.8% over last month and only down 1% as compared to last year. So just keep in mind that LA County, although 2 of the 3 sales trends are in the red, those solds, that's closings and pendants and escrows, those are only down slightly. So there is a good chance that we can rebound from this. Okay. There's a very good chance that we can rebound from this, especially given we've got more inventory on the market. Okay. New listing inventory is down 19.7% over last month and up 14.2% overall. So we've got more new listing inventory than we did last year, right? We've got more existing inventory on the market than we did last year. And then we've got new listings coming on the market to the tune of 14.2% higher than last year. All right. And then we've got, lost my cursor. I got technical issues today, you guys. I apologize. My computer is on some stuff, and I promise you, it ain't because I gave it to it. It is just, there we go. All right, we're back. All right, girl. Maybe I should rub it and talk to it. Like, okay, Silver, you're good. Okay, all right. So average active price is down 3.1% in LA County as compared to last month. However, it's down 10.3% as compared to last year. So sellers in LA County are asking 10.3% less than they did last year. However, they're receiving 7.1% higher than they did last year, which is a great sign, right? Sellers in LA County are happy. Now, granted, you have to be hyper local because you've got to look at this and say, all right, in my neighborhood, our prices are sellers receiving selling for 7.1% higher, or are they receiving a little bit less or a little bit more, right? So you got to be hyper local when it comes to those numbers. Months of inventory, no change. Last month we were at 3.8 months of inventory. Currently 3.8 months of inventory. However, as compared to last year, we're seeing a 38.5% increase. So last year we were at 2.9 months of inventory, and currently we are at 4 months of inventory. So hello, normal market. It's us knocking, right? We are knocking at the door of a normal market, which is wonderful. Again, we have only seen for the last really decade, we've only seen a seller's market, right? We've only seen a seller's market. That's everything's been flying off the shelves. Buyers have been in multiple offer situations, and now the tide is changing. So we have to change with it, right? We have to change with it. So our behaviors, our communications, some things are going to have to, our marketing, things are going to have to change with it. Pricing strategies, all those things. All right. Average days on market has gone up 6.1% over last month. We were at 33 days on market last month. We're at 35 days on market currently. And then over year over year comparison, we're up 19.4%. So last year we were at 31 days on market. Currently we're at 37 days on market. And we expect that, right? Because more properties are coming on the market, more inventory on the market, longer days on market. Sold versus original list price has gone down 1% over last month. Last month, we were at 97% of list price, currently at 96% of list price. And then same thing in our year over year comparison. Last year, we were at 98% of list price, and currently we're at 97% of list price, right? Down 1%. Okay. Months of inventory. Oh, sorry, guys. I thought I already talked about that. So I'm telling you, this is a computer gone wild and gone, and then not moving. Come on, girl. Come on, Silver. I have to rub it. Come on, Silver. All right. Oh, this is Orange County. All right, here we go. All right, sold versus original list price. I said sellers are at 98% of, we're at 98% of list price last year. They're at 97% of list price, currently a 1% decrease. And that is it. Any questions about LA County before we move on? Any questions? No, we're good. All right. Orange County, for sale properties, 4.8% increase over last month. Right here, right? 4.8% increase over last month, and a 51.7% increase over as compared to last year. So in Orange County, we're seeing 51.7% more inventory on the market than we did last year. So that's pretty amazing, right? However, we also know that Orange County had the least amount of inventory out of all the counties. And so it needed it, right? It needed it badly. Come on. I just have to give it a minute, I guess. So, and then we're looking at our pendants. And actually what's funny is pendants are right here. So I'll talk about, right. All right, pendants, or sold. Solds are down 2.5% over last month. And then down 4.1%. So a little more drastic in terms of the decline in the number of sales than you see in Los Angeles County, right? So Los Angeles County wasn't even 1% quite yet in terms of the decline as compared to last year. Here in Orange County, we're seeing a 4.1% decrease as compared to last year in closing. So a little bit more drastic, but still recoverable, okay? 4.1% is still recoverable given that we're in the spring and summer. I'm sorry, we're in the summer and fall months, okay? Pendants are up 2.4% over last month and down 2.6% as compared to last year, okay? So again, recoverable, not a big decline, still under 5% in both categories, closings and pendants. So we're hoping that we can see an improvement. And Dr. Yun feels like there should be some slight improvement. New listings are down 21.6% as compared to last month.
Oh, wow.
And then, I'm sorry, Yvette, what'd you say?
Oh, sorry. I just said, oh, wow. It was a comment. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, no worries. Please comment. Yeah.
Okay.
And then up 11.6% as compared to last year. Okay, so again, we're seeing more new listing inventory come on the market, which we need. Average active price is down 2.7% as compared to last month. So sellers are asking 2.7% lower than they did even last month, right? And then 12.1% lower overall as compared to last year. Okay. So we're definitely seeing that sellers understand. This indicates that sellers truly understand that this market is shifting and that they need to change their mindset in terms of asking astronomical prices because more inventory is coming on the market. They need to act accordingly, right? More inventory, more competition. You need to be more competitive with your price as well when you've got more competition. Average sold price has gone down 9.6% lower than last month and 4.9% higher than last year. So, although sellers are asking 12.1% lower than they did last year, they're receiving 4.9% higher than they did last year. Okay. Months of inventory is 3.6% higher than it was last month. Last month, we were at 2.8 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 2.9 months of inventory. That's not a big change. And then 53.6% higher than it was last year. So last year, we were at 1.9 months of inventory, starving for inventory, right? And currently, we're at 2.9 months of inventory, which in Orange County still puts us in a seller's market, right? So you see how it's so important for you to be hyper local because in LA County, you're knocking on the door of a normal market, right? But in Orange County, the conditions are still different. Still in a seller's market. Okay. Average days on market is 10.7% higher than it was last month. Last month we were at 28.28 days on market. Currently we're at 31 days on market. And then as compared to last year, it's a 34.8% increase. So last year we were at 23 days on market, currently at 31 days on market. Okay. Have a sense of urgency in Orange County, right? Have a sense of urgency anywhere, but especially in Orange County because they are still flying off the market. Okay. Or this would indicate that they are still going to fly off the market. Properties are going to fly off the market. Okay. Sold versus original list price, a 1% decrease as compared to last month. Last month, we were at 97% of list price, currently at 96% of list price. And then a 2% decline over last year. So last year, we were at 99% of list price, right? Currently, 97% of list price. All right. Any questions about Orange County? Going once, going twice. So to Riverside County. All right. Nobody? Because I did that really, really quick. All right, we get Riverside County. Riverside County for sale properties is down 1% over last month and up 36.6% as compared to last year. So, guys, again, we've got more inventory coming on the market. We've got to get our buyers out there. Okay, we've got to get our buyers off the fence and get them out there. We're down 10.5% over last month in solds, okay? And we're down 3.5% overall as compared to last year in terms of closing. So again, we are hoping that this number will rebound. It is still under 4%, right? So it is recoverable. Pendants are up 6.7% as compared to last month and down 1.7% over last year. So again, not a huge decline, but still moving in the wrong direction for us, right? So we hope that we can rebound on that number. And I should have looked at last week's number, right? So that we could see what that actually looked like last week. I'll have to do that for this week coming up so that we can kind of compare and contrast. All right, new listings. New listings are down 18.7% over last month and up 6.9% over last year. Okay, so we are still seeing more inventory, more existing inventory is on the market as compared to last month, and new listing inventory, right? Listings that weren't there last year are here now, right? We've got new listings coming on the market. Okay. Average active price has gone down 4.5% over last month, and down 6.2% as compared to last year. So sellers were asking 6.2% less than they did last year. Okay. The average active price has gone down 6.2%. However, the average sold price has gone up 1.8%. Okay. So Riverside County has seen some modest increases, right? 1.8% is probably the lowest that we've seen out of the two counties between LA and Orange County, right? But it's still an improvement over last year. So sellers still are receiving appreciation. Okay. Average days on market, or I'm sorry, months of inventory has gone up 7.6%. So last month we were at 3.9 months of inventory, currently at 4.2 months of inventory, right? So definitely this month we are in the beginnings of a normal market. An improvement of 42.4% over last year. Last year, we were at 2.6 months of inventory, currently at 3.7 months of inventory. So overall, if you look at the market from January to July 19th, we are still in a seller's market. We're just moving in toward that normal market. We're transitioning. So as you guys see these things, when we're talking about shifting, we're talking about shifting because we're moving toward a normal market, which then moves toward a buyer's market. If you move through the pendulum swinging, right, you're moving from the seller's market, swinging into the normal market, into the buyer's market. Now, market conditions could change and we could swing back the other way, right? However, this looks like we're moving into that normal market, which then, because we have more inventory coming on the market, which then could push us into that buyer's market. Okay. Average days on market has gone down 2% as compared to last month. Last month, we were at 49 days on market, currently at 48 days on market. And then overall, a 21.4% increase over last year. So last year, we were at 42 days on market, currently at 51 days on market. So versus original list price has gone down 1%. We were at 96 days. I'm sorry, we were at 96% of list price last month. We're at 95% of list price currently. And then overall, same thing, has gone down 1% as compared to last year. Last year, we were at 97% of list price, currently at 96% of list price. So sellers are still in the upper 90s in terms of, list to sold ratio. And again, you guys are the influencers of that number. We can help our sellers to achieve 100% of their list price by pricing the property right. It's so funny to talk about this because we have got to help our sellers, right? I literally am listing two properties, one in LA, one in Inglewood, and me and the seller just last week decided on the list price. Me and the sellers decided on the list price. Why did I get an email this morning and a text? From the email came from one of my sellers, the text came from another one of my sellers, both of them asking, what do I think about increasing the list price? Now, we haven't listed the properties just yet. So yeah, they could increase the list price, but both asking, Mr. Hardy's like, Randy, what is the highest price you would list the property for, that you would agree to list the property for? This was my response to Mr. Hardy. Good morning. Given this, his was his. Good morning, Mrs. Jones. What is the maximum listing price? What is the maximum listing price you are willing to list the property? I said, good morning, Mr. Hardy. Given the comparables and the shifting market, I believe the price we discussed is best. Of course, we can list higher. However, as you know, because he's a broker, as you know, listing higher and sitting on the market does not bring about a higher price. It actually brings about a lower price if we have to reduce. If we price it right, we could get multiple offers and bid the property up instead of going the opposite direction. That was my response to him. Now, I didn't give him a price because it's his property. You can list at whatever you want to list at, right? However, it's funny that these sellers are still thinking that they can get a higher price when what they're going to end up doing is getting a lower price because they are actually overpricing the property, and it's going to end up helping to sell other properties, right? Let's see what's going on in the chat. Beautiful. Oh, thank you, Danila. Thank you. You know, and I just want to share that with you because you guys are going to get that as well. Your sellers are going to say, hey, you know, I want to get this price. And you've got to be able with confidence to come back and say, based on the comparables, based on the data, this is the direction we should take. Okay. All right. Let's move on. San Bernardino County. Any questions about Riverside? All right. San Bernardino County. For sale properties is up 3% over last month and up 34.5% over last year as compared to last year. So again, seeing some improvements on inventory. Sold properties has improved 3.3% over last month, which is great. However, it's down 2.7% over last year as compared to last year. So again, a slight decline, but definitely recoverable. Okay. Pendants are down 2.1% over last month and down 1.3% over last year as compared to last year. So again, very small decrease, however, not moving in the direction we would like, right? But it's small enough for us to recover. New listing inventory is down 15.6% as compared to last year and increased 10% over last month. I'm sorry, I just did that backward, huh? 15.6% decrease over last month and a 10% increase as compared to last year and new listing inventory. Average active price has gone down 1.4% over last month. All righty. Sellers are asking 1.4% less than they did last month and 3.4% less than they did last year. Okay. So average active price has gone down 3.4% as compared to last year. However, they are being sold, properties are being sold for 4.6% higher than they were last year. Okay. 4.6% higher in San Bernardino County than they were last year, which is a nominal amount of appreciation. It's in the range of normal appreciation, which is great. Months of inventory is down 4.2% over last month. Last month, we were at 4.8 months of inventory, currently at 4.6 months of inventory. An increase of 37.7% over last year. So last year we were at 3.5 months of inventory, currently 4.8 months of inventory. So San Bernardino County, you really are seeing the conditions of a normal market. We're getting deeper into that in San Bernardino County, sitting at 4.8 months of inventory. Okay. Average days on market, no change. Over last month, we're sitting at 43 days on market and a 21.1% increase over last year. So last year we were at 38 days on market, currently 46 days on market. Very, 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 this, I would expect, right, that given that we are in the range of a normal market, that our days on market would be 46 days on market. Okay. We typically sit, properties that are priced right still sit between 30 to 45 days on the market. Okay. And can sit a little bit longer because again, we're in a normal market. It's not just flying off the shelves. You've got more competition. Okay. Sold versus original list price is down 3.1% over last month. So last month we were at 98% of list price, currently at 95% of list price, and a 2% decrease over last year. So last year we were at 99% of list price and currently at 97% of list price. So again, sellers are still doing very well. They're seeing appreciation. They're receiving 97% of their list price. So we're still in a good place in San Bernardino County. All right, we are done with our market update. We're looking at our upcoming events. So we have got group coaching today at 12 o'clock. So do not miss that with Diana Carbajal. We have got conversations in real play tomorrow at 9 a.m. Actually, today we do have a tech workshop with Eileen, and that's at 5:30. So those of you who are new, who need to get some what do you call it? Refreshers especially related to the CRMLS. So if you haven't been on there and created searches and done things for your clients, to really dive into the MLS, she's going to be diving into the CRMLS. That is a good class. You all should be taking it. It is going to be on Zoom. Okay. But also come on in, because being hands-on and doing it yourself right with her, and having her be able to come around and look at what you're doing, that's best. All right. And then we've got, like I said, conversations in real play Tuesday morning. Then we've got our team meeting. Excited about this, you guys. This is our speaker for tomorrow, Scott Gass. He is going to be talking about, he's going to be talking about going to that next level in 2025, right? So that's going to be super exciting. So everybody should be joining in on that. So success cycle, the massive action plan, and more. And you get to get a gift, the Hour of Power audio program with Tony Robbins by attending. All right. We've got our tech workshop, of course, on Wednesday with the marvelous Martha. And we've got Dial for Dollars on Thursday at 2:00 with Victor. And of course, Broker Hour on Thursday morning, July 24th. Remember, tomorrow we do not have the Q&A because Ed's in-house. So July 24th at 10 a.m., understanding the high fire and defensible space rules. I'm going to be there on that one. Please, you guys be there. All of us need to know this because they've rezoned, and that's happening. All right. And then on Friday, if you guys want to take a new headshot, our headshot guy will be in. You've got to RSVP. It is $80, $79.99, okay, for your first image. And he has packages. So that's Friday, July 25th. You got to sign up. And Bold is here. For all of you guys, Bold is here. Most of you should be in Bold. All of you should be in Bold. It is going to be at the Whittier Market Center. Our first step is August 7th. And that is then we reconvene, not the following week, not August 14th, but August 21st. Okay. So you get a week break. It's going to be amazing. So I encourage all of you to participate. Go all out. Go all out. This is going to be an amazing journey for all of us. Just try to get the week off. If you have a job, not the week. Get the day off. It's Thursday, right? Get one day off. Take one day off a week for the next 6 weeks, so that you can participate in this amazing class. This is how you kick up your production, okay? Change your mindset, get some sales skills. It really is an amazing class. Then we've got our bonfire August 21st. Save the date. The bonfire August 21st. It's a lot of fun, you guys. We have a lot of fun. A lot of fun, a lot of food, a lot of fun. It's awesome. We enjoy this time together. All right. You can bring your kid, you can bring your spouse, your significant other, whatever. It is awesome. All right. And then remember, you've got Ignite After Dark. If you guys want to sign up, make sure you click on the link. Listen to your millionaire real estate agent. All right. This was last week. So listen to your millionaire real estate agent podcast. Always be feeding yourself good stuff. Always be feeding yourself good stuff. When you're in your car, feed yourself good stuff. Okay. Remember what they say, garbage in, garbage out. Right. So we want to feed ourselves good stuff. Airbnb. Now we have a real estate referral program with Airbnb where we can earn money for referring people to Airbnb. So make sure that you go on to that. The One Thing podcast again. And now let's get to the industry news. So I wanted to share with you that Lawrence Yun actually changed his forecast. He originally said that we were going to have like 10% more sales than we did last year. Then he altered that and said that we were going to have more like I think he said between 5 and 6%, and now it's down to 3%. So now his prediction is that this year, in terms of closings, it will look more like 3% because of all of the economic unrest and because of all of the things that have happened in our economy and in our government. Quite frankly, there has been a lot of lot of hesitation in the market. It's caused just a lot of people not, uh, you know, uh, just apprehension, just not wanting to move because they don't know what's going to happen, right? And so because of that, um, you know, we have gone down in sales, and the interest rates obviously being higher. Obviously, the interest rate being higher than what people have become accustomed to, right? And so because of those factors, then we're looking at things being people sitting on the fence, right? So he has predicted, right, that we're looking at a 3% rise in sales. So we still should be on the positive side, but much less than what we originally expected. Now, next year, he's saying that he forecasts that that interest rates are going to hit 6%. Okay, that interest rates are going to hit 6%. If interest rates hit 6%, he's forecasting that we're going to see a 14% jump in sales in 2026. Okay, so as the interest rates move lower, obviously sales move higher. We all know that, right? We all know that. But that what they're saying is they're predicting that the mortgage rates are going to move towards 6%, and that we are going to see a rise in the level of sales. Okay, so that's what he's predicting. And he was talking about the migration pattern. He was talking about the fact of the matter. The fact of it is a couple things is that we're seeing a record low in terms of new first-time home buyers. A record low. The sales are coming from people who are moving up, people who are relocating, people who are downsizing, right? But not first-time home buyers. We're also seeing a migration pattern of people moving to the South where it is more affordable, and they have more land, they have more home, but primarily affordability. Okay, so that is what he was talking about in this particular article. Okay, but definitely looks better for 2026, and they are predicting that these interest rates are going to go down to 6%, not 5, 6. Okay, so you guys, it's not going to be, we're not seeing where we're going to get record lows again. That's not going to happen. Okay, but what we do predict is that they will go into the sixes, which actually I've heard this for a while. They say that's our sweet spot for buyers to actually go back into the market, for more sellers to actually jump in and sell their properties and go ahead and sell and buy. Okay. Fed official, so basically the federal governor, Christopher Waller, he has been talking about, and this has been, you guys, this has been going on and on. Trump was doing it, his vice president, everybody's trying to put pressure on the feds to drop the interest rate. And federal chair Jerome Powell has kept them frozen, right? And it's just not him. He's got a board of directors keeping them frozen. And so basically they have a meeting in July. It's when is it? I think it's July. It's this week coming up. Okay. It's either this week or next week. No, it's this week. Yeah, it's this week coming up. And they have a meeting. And so they have gotten enormous amount of pressure to lower the interest rates or cut the rate. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that because if that happens, it could very well impact mortgage rates, right? Remember, it's not a direct relationship. It's an indirect relationship, but they tend to go together. So if Fed cuts the rate, it is very likely that the mortgage rate will get cut, okay? So we will see what happens this week, but it is very likely that they will cut the rate, even if it's a quarter point or something like that, okay? Builders turn back on single family homes. So this article was just talking about the fact that builders, the permits have slowed significantly on single family home construction. Okay, so we had seen an increase last year. However, permits declined 8.4% down in this year on single family residences. Okay, it was up in June, but it has declined in July so far. And so housing permits have declined. That's because, and they cited here, that's because of the cost of the materials, labor costs. Everything has gone up, and so it's making everything lag. So we're going to keep an eye on that, because the reality is that was what was spurring our inventory, right? Is that we have builders who were getting out there, and they were building, and we had a lot of new inventory coming out there. But now what they're talking about is that they're not pulling permits the way that they were. Material costs are extremely high. And so it's caused them to put a halt on that. So we got to keep an eye on that. And if we remember last week's news was that especially in California, we just relaxed some of our laws to help builders to build more. And so now they're saying, well, the numbers actually have gone down, but hopefully with the relaxation of the laws here, especially in California, to help builders be able to build and not have to go through so much red tape. Hopefully that's going to help our side, right? For builders to continue to go. Remember, this article is a national article, so they're talking about national building. They're not talking about just California. And that, you guys, is it for the weekly market update. Any questions? No? You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys have an amazing day. Have an amazing week. I hope to see you guys here at group coaching and tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Randy. That was very.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Thank you guys for being here.